This is the accessories and consumables for the constant current meter. Now start installing the stator. First, turn the back of the instrument towards us. Then look behind the instrument. First, take a screwdriver to loosen this fixing screw. Then pull this stick out. You can get a shorter screwdriver. Just loosen it. After it is loose, you can take it out. Then go to the side of the instrument. Open the side door of the instrument. After opening the side door, remove the 3 screws. After removing the screws, this shield can be taken off. After taking it off, you can see the long screw and the pull ring. Then take a long cross screwdriver from the back end of the instrument. Take the screwdriver through this square hole. Plug it directly into this screw. Then slowly let the tension spring inside support it. How far can it last? Support until the diameter of the silicon carbon tube can enter the furnace. That's it. It's basically fine now. Now insert the silicon carbon tube into the furnace. This silicon carbon tube material is more brittle, so be careful when you put it down. After pushing to the bottom, this silicon carbon tube can go back another 3 毫米. Because of the properties of this silicon carbon tube, it's a property of thermal expansion and contraction. The 2 insulation blocks should be vertical. Don't go sideways. If it's sideways, it's short-circuited. After this silicon carbon tube is installed in place, and then loosen this filament. Let this tension spring work. Hold this silicon carbon tube to the popping bead, or plug it into the original aperture. Let's loosen this filament. Just wait until the long wire leaves the opposite nut. Here we should pay attention. This insulation block must be vertical. Pull back 3 毫米 when installing the silicon carbon tube. After installing the silicon carbon tube, put the shield back in place. Next, plug the thermocouple into behind the furnace. Thermocouples are generally placed in the instrument case. Take scissors and cut the straps. The thermocouple wire is already installed. Take the thermocouple and thread it from the instrument to the back of the machine. After the thermocouple comes through, first adjust the fixing wire to the maximum. The brim thermocouple is smoothly plugged in. Plug it in. The thermocouple has touched the silicon carbon tube. To prevent adhesion after prolonged heating, can put the thermocouple back 1 毫米. Then take a tool to fix it. After fixing it, start installing the LCD tube. Inward along the mouth, slowly insert into the bottom of the furnace. Just plug it into a position that cannot be pushed. Then put the silicone tube reserved in the instrument. Plug it into this position. After plugging it in place, take a screwdriver to screw the fixing wire. You should pay attention to this place. Just apply a little force. Just keep the easy tendon tube inactive. Be careful not to crush the easy tendon tube. Pack up. Take a look at the position of the machine sample delivery port after entering the tube. Sample delivery port sub-integration, although flat. Then start installing the purifier. Open the front door. Open and screw off. Remove the two silicone tubes. After removing the silicone tube, find color-changing silicone and medical overdraft cotton. Stuff part of the cotton into the silicone tube. The position of the cotton is past the place of the two-way pipe. After the color-changing silicone is installed, the top is also stuffed with cotton. Then put it back in place and fix it. The plug must be tightened. The color-changing silicone is installed. The next step is to install the electrolytic cell. It has two holes in it. This is sulfur-fired gas in the furnace. Enter from this place. It's connected to a tube with a dust filter. Don't insert these two tubes upside down. If it is inserted upside down, the liquid will be sucked into the color-changing silicone. This tube is an air pump tube. It's like a suction tube. If you take this tube, there is nothing in it. And there's a drain down here. The water outlet is equipped with a latex tube. You can cut it to the length you need properly. Here's a mixer worn by our machine. Take off the stirrer and put it in the electrolysis tank. The lid of the electrolytic cell is unscrewed like a water cup. After unscrewing, just put the stirrer in. When screwing this lid, just twist it lightly. Then plug this signal cable into the instrument interface. There is a groove here when plugging it in. This groove corresponds to the interface bump. Plug it in and twist the nut to fix it. Finally, we got the water stop. Just clamp the latex tube. The next step is to power up the machine, and this device has 2500 watts. It is best to connect a 220 air switch. Turn on the instrument switch. After opening, the sample delivery device will automatically come out. After coming out, change the sample delivery and install it in place. After installation, take the tool to fix it a little bit. Then unscrew this nut. After unscrewing, insert the plastic sample rod through this hole diameter. Insert into the desired position and tighten the nut. After fixing, hang the quartz shaft on the sample feeding rod. Every time you do an experiment, weigh 50 grams of the enzyme sample and place it in the magnetic circumference, and we put the magnetic circumference inside the quartz circumference. After the instrument rises to 900 degrees, the electrolyte can be added to the electrolytic cell. There are two ways to add electrolyte. One is that you can use an air pump, suck this liquid into it. There is another simple way. Unscrew the lid of the cup. You can also go directly inside. We follow the first method. Suck the electrolyte into the cup. First, turn on the main switch of the air pump purifier. Insert the tube into the bottom of the cup. Hold the intake pipe with your hands. The electrolyte will automatically suck into the cup. We are going to suck all the liquid into the cup. Can be used. Do not put the bottle on the instrument after sucking. Don't tip over. After suction, clamp the soft hose with a water stop clip. That's it. Be careful that the cup should be placed in the middle. Check if the tube is folded in half. Where there is a fold in half, the air route will not be connected. Then adjust the stirring switch. Let it stir the liquid well. Just stir it to this state. Then check if these plugs are tight. You can press down. Prevent air leaks. That's it. First, weigh the sample required by the measuring instrument. Put the porcelain circle inside the balance, then peel. There is no need to record the weight of the porcelain circle. Then weigh the sample 50毫克. $505 is also available. Write down this weight. Wait for the temperature to rise to 1050. Look at the current furnace temperature. After the current furnace temperature rises to 1050, you can start experimenting. Place the porcelain table and samples on the quartz table. It is best to adjust the position of the porcelain table with the matching forceps. So you can start experimenting. You can enter your own number. Date can be entered, can also be customized. Then enter the weight of the sample just weighed. Just enter the last 3 digits of the balance directly. Click Confirm after losing. The default moisture value is 0. If you want to do dry rapids, you have to put your analytical water into the water. It's basically full flow, so moisture is ignored and does not need to be entered. Just click to start now. Instrument automatic sampling. Results will be available in about 5分钟 use. After 5分钟 use, the sample search opportunity will automatically come out. The temperature around the magnetic field is very high. Be sure to take it out with forceps. Now the experimental results will be displayed on the screen. The printer will also automatically print the result. The sample made by the current meter will be low after a long time. If the sample is low, you can check it. These sieves. Maybe it just can't be stuffed tightly. Stuff it down. The easiest way is to take in the air. Fold the tube in half and choke. The floater will slowly drop to the bottom. If the browser doesn't go down, it's possible that these large stoppers are not stuffed tightly. Just press down on these stoppers. There is another case where it takes a long time. The chip in the electrolytic cell is damaged or there is dirt. The 4 chips in the cell are platinum. If there is dirt on the chip, the result will be high or low. You can turn off the purifier at this time. Unscrew the lid of the cup. Then wash it with toothpaste or alcohol. After the experiment is done, first, turn off the mixer. Then turn off the air pump. Next, take a bottle and let the electrolyte out. Open the water stop clip when the electrolyte is placed. When releasing electrolyte, you can pull the stopper off the lid of the cup. Remember, every time you finish the experiment, you have to release the electrolyte. Prevent the electrolyte from soaking the chip for a long time. After receiving the electrolyte, be sure to keep the lid closed. Prevent evaporation. Then put in a cool place. Avoid direct sunlight. If there is distilled water, electrolytic cells can be cleaned. Extend the life of electrolytic cells. Finally, just turn off the power of the instrument.